All right, welcome back, YouTube. So I have another video for you guys. It seems like the last one of these I did where I recorded footage of me on the computer going over how I build an army. It seemed to be pretty popular. It's actually like my second highest video behind some of my army showcases. So I'm going to do this one for my Greeks. Now, if you saw the last one, which was the Achaemenid Persians, we were a little hamstrung in what we could get. You essentially had two manufacturers with comprehensive ranges for Achaemenid Persians. You had Victrix, and then you had First Corps, and that was it. Now there was companies that did packs here and there. You had Crusader, you had, um, Crusader, even Warlord Games. Uh, I'm trying to think. New Line Miniatures. A lot of companies like that had like maybe three or four different, uh, unit packs you could choose from. Not even unit packs, just four to eight miniature packs. Foundry was kind of in that category. Foundry a little bit more comprehensive, um, but their newer stuff was very limited. The stuff that's sculpted by Steve Sala, and it was limited to like later Achaemenid stuff. So we're gonna do it this time with the classical Greeks, and I use the word classical very loosely. I'm not going to use it like in the absolute academic sense. In the academic world, the Greek period is generally classified by the Archaic period, and then you have your classical period, and then you have the Hellenistic period, right? And before that, you have the Dark Age. Now, the classical period is, the highlight of the Greeks, right? The Archaic period, that's a popular period because that's where the Persian wars are fought. So the army I'm building is going to kind of have a crossover. It's going to be meant to represent the Persian wars all the way down to Alexander the Great. That's considered the end of the classical period. So this army isn't going to be as big or as complete as my Persian army because this is a supplementary force to Holy Diver's Greek army. Now, Holy Diver essentially has like 500 or 600 Greeks. He has a lot of Greeks, a lot of hoplites, a lot of skirmishers, a lot of peltasts, a lot of cavalry. I mean, he just has a lot of Greeks. He bought a Greek army off the internet and then he painted his own. So he essentially has two Greek armies, which will be good because the Greeks fought a lot internally. So we'll be able to go through and fight all those battles. So this is my spreadsheet right here for what I got from my Greeks. As you can see here, it's the same breakdown as the Persians. Armored hoplites, I'm going to have 2 units of 24. Unarmored hoplites, 2 units of 24. And then peltasts, I'm going to have 2 units of 16. Thracian mercenaries, I'm going to have a unit of 24. Light cavalry armed with javelins is going to be a unit of 12. Medium cavalry armed with spears, a unit of 12. We're going to have just trash javelin men, Pizzoli, a unit of 12. Slingers, unit of 12. Cretan archers. So these are going to be archers. They're probably going to have the buckler type shield to represent Cretans. Unit of 12. And then I decided, because I want this to be a little bit more of a Athenian based force, I'm going to have another unit of archers. They're going to be in like linen cuirasses and helmets. So that's going to represent my Athenian archers. The Athenians were one of the very few Greek states that actually valued skirmishers, and their citizen army had a corps of citizen archers in it, whereas most city states either used their peasants or they used mercenaries, Now, the Athenians did use mercenaries, but they also had their own citizen corps of archers. Now, they primarily were meant to serve on the ships in the navy, but they were also used in land battle. And they were seen, you can't really say they were seen equal as hoplites, but it wasn't a diminished position. If you were an Athenian archer, you were not considered scum and trash. Like it was an honored position in Athens to be part of the archer corps. And I believe they may have been paid higher than hoplites by the state. I can't remember. I'm more of a Hellenistic era guy myself, so don't quote me on that. But archers were not considered to be trash in Athens. So total unit count there: 224 miniatures. Still a decent sized army, and if I want to add more units of hoplites, I can. It's easy. They're just 24 bricks of hoplites. So that's the premise of my army, and I feel like if anybody here wanted to replicate that, they could easily do so and have a great army. This would be a great army for 90% of play. This isn't a big battle army, so to say. I think 300 miniatures is really a big battle army. But this is a decent size army to get you through. You can easily play Hail Caesar, Wab, Sword Point with these. I don't really play anything else, but I know you could easily field, 1,000 point, 1,000 point Sword Point force with this, and easily play Wab with this and Hail Caesar. So you have a little bit more options when it comes to manufacturers for Greeks, for classical Greeks. I'm going to start off with my least favorite first, and that's going to be Warlord Games. Warlord Games is going to have plastic and metal. This is outdated. This is really old, really old. This probably is just as old as their Persians. It's funny. I saw a post on the Discord from Triarius, and he is like, "Yeah, Warlord gives zero love to Hell Caesar." Yes, they do. They give zero love to Hell Caesar. So it is what it is. But with that said, Holy Diver really likes their plastic kits because he thinks they rank up a little bit easier. Whatever, I don't know. I've always been able to make Victrix stuff work. So, and I think it looks better. But they have 2 core box sets there for their plastic hoplites. One has 42 figures and one has 40 figures. I don't know why. I guess you can do 2 units of 20. But yeah, there they are. I mean, they're not bad, and they're probably going to come with shield transfers, which is always nice. That's a great value. But not a big fan. I've seen Holy Divers. He's painted a bunch of these guys, and when I put them next to the Victrix stuff, I prefer the Victrix stuff. So, not to hate on these. If you can get these, they're a pretty decent price, less than $1 a miniature. And then they have their metal line. Their metal line's crazy expensive, and if it's anything like their metal Persians, I won't touch them with a 10-foot pole. So they do have some metal stuff. Not a huge. They have this sacred band pack here of 12 miniatures, so you could, get a few of these for a Theban sacred band. Pretty cool. They have Boeotian helmets, and they're more in that heroic naked style, which supposedly the sacred band was known for fighting. And then they got some of these Thessalian cavalry guys, which on the website they look good. I thought the Persians looked decent, but then when I got them in my hand, they looked like shit. So, and I can already tell you these horses are going to be tiny as hell, because that is how their horses are. But yeah, then they got some Hellenistic era guys, the Ruperoi and Thorakotoi infantry there. So that's your later Hellenistic, post-Alexander stuff, and then some commanders and whatnot, and some skirmishers. So that's Warlord Games. Not a lot going on there. Honestly, I'm pretty sure they're going to kill off their Hell Caesar line, or they're just going to keep it in a state of decay for a while. I don't see them revamping it. I just got on their website for the first time in a couple months, and I saw that there's now a news when you go on the main web page there. World War II is thriving as ever. They're doing their Italians. Good on them. I love World War II, so they're still going hard on that. They're still going hard in the black powder realm, but it's like, okay, they got the zombie game out there. Of course, they're doing a zombie game. Let's see. They got Warlords of Erewhon, Black Powder, and World War II. So you can see, like, Hell Caesar's not even on there. Pike and Shot's not even on there. So I mean, you can pretty much tell what they're focusing on. World War II, Black Powder. Everything else is kind of a afterthought. So that's Warlord Games. Nothing to get against them. The next one is, if you're going to go the plastic route, I would go Victrix, 110%. Their line is comprehensive, very comprehensive. Victrix is really good about this. And then not only that, you can get everything you need. They have Peltast. These are all done by Little Big Man Studios. They have Peltast shield transfers, about 10 different hoplite, 15 different hoplite transfers. You can, even if you're doing fantasy, they got undead ones. If you do those weird fucking skeleton dudes, but yeah, and then like look at what they have here. They have Athenian armored hoplites. These are probably going to be guys with Attic style helmets and Corinthian style helmets. And then they got the mercenary guys, which are probably going to be a mix of everything. They got the Theban guys, which are going to be more Boeotian helmets. They're probably going to be all the same bodies, just swapping out heads. Same thing with the Spartans. They're going to have more of the Pylos helmets. And then they have skirmisher and light infantry kits. So you can do your unarmored hoplites and your archers and your slingers and your javelins. And then they have separate packs if you want to do your units there. And then they have light cavalry. Now, what's really cool about these light cavalry sets is that you can make a lot of different stuff. You can make a traditional, they might even have it. You can make a traditional Greek light cavalrymen, like what probably would have been fielded by the Attic forces and maybe the Peloponnesian forces that weren't really big into cavalry, or you can do more of a Tarentine style cavalryman that has a shield with javelins and a helmet, or you can even do more of a these are Macedonian prodromoi, but you could also do like light lancers, Thessalian lancers, right? Those types of guys that'll have Contos, that'll have a lance with light equipment. So you get a lot of good good options in the Victrix stuff. A lot of great options. Can't go wrong with them, and they're a great price. And like I said in the previous video, and some of their stuff's online is a little bit cheaper. And like I said before, they do the set discount. If you buy 5 or 4 or 3, you get discounts that stack up. What I also really like is Victrix. Because they don't have their own rule sets, they make their kits in the ability to fit all the rule sets. Those Warlord plastic kits, one had 40, one had 42. Well, I typically, and I feel like most guys who do ancient medieval stuff, they're doing units of 24, unless it's like a Pike Brock or a Sparabara unit. But most of your Greek Roman type units are going to be in 24s. And guess what? If you click into these guys, 48 in a kit. I'm getting 2 units of hoplites for that. And the price is good, 29 USD for 2 units. That's a damn good deal. Damn good deal. You cannot be angry with that. I typically will do my light troops, my skirmishers, in 12s or 16s. So they come in sets of 12. I almost always do my cavalry in sets of in units of 12. Once again, units of 12. So the Victrix, if you're looking for the biggest bang for your buck, Victrix. It's that simple. I mean, the great price. They have good discounts. Lots of good support stuff. If you want to buy extra shields, You can. It's easy. You could easily get Hellenistic shields and turn dudes into Thurio spearmen or Thorakatoi or like whatever you're wanting to do at Thorakatai. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You want to make them Thebans? Look, there's Heracles' club right there. Oh my gosh. You want to make them Spartans? There's Lambdas right there. Oh look, they even got multiple different versions of the Lambdas in the Heracles club there. So like they even have the transfers for the shield aprons. I mean they got a lot. They're supported. If you want to do later heavier Greek cavalry, you can use their successor cavalry set because they have all the options in there. So in short, great option. The best option, in my opinion, which isn't going to be cheap, and the option that I went is Foundry. Foundry has a really good Greek line. It's pretty comprehensive, as you can see here. They got guys that are more orientated towards each of the major states. You got your Athenians and Spartans here. I think this is more geared towards the Peloponnesian Wars. But yeah, I mean, you can get armored, unarmored, attacking, at rest, advancing, different types of cavalry. You don't see any Helots here, but you can use some of their other stuff to make do with that. Same thing with the Athenians, multiple commands, character sets, naked hoplites, unarmored hoplites, armored hoplites, cavalry, and then it goes on. They have same thing. They have mercenaries, um, slingers. Holy Diver has some of these guys. They're really good. They're great looking miniatures. He also has some of the Peltest. I have a bunch of the Peltest. That whole army list that I showed you is actually all Foundry. So I have about 75% of it already collected. And then they have all their light troops. You can get more naked javelin men, more cavalry, casualties, um, more light infantry. These guys are more in the Thracian style, I would say. But yeah, I mean they have it all. So really good line. They have several different archers. They have the Cretan style archers here with the shields, with the buckler shields, and then they got just generic archers here. A good mixture there. So a lot of good options for here. And they have Thracians on top of that, which their Thracians look really cool. I said the whole army is Foundry. That's a lie. My Thracian unit is actually Old Glory, so I didn't get the Thracians from Foundry, but I easily would have. Like these look like great miniatures. So these Thracians look cool. The command on these Thracians look amazing. Like look at that pile of heads. Dude's holding a head. Dude's drinking out of a horn. Like, dude, these guys look badass. The human head on there. Oh, they have women too. Shit. Oh, that one's pregnant with a baby. Another pile of heads. That one's crying. That one's shooting a bow. Yeah, their Thracians look really badass. Actually, shit, I almost want to do it. I might have to get a unit of Foundry Thracians because these are piquing my interest. Hardcore, hardcore. And they're the earlier type. They don't have the later Falx two-handed sword deal, the curved two-handed sword that the Romans loathe. They got the javelins, which is indicative of early. Although I think you can get away using whatever. I don't think that really matters. So that's Foundry. But like I said, a pack of 8 is going to cost 14 pounds. So you're going to be paying. You're going to be paying. I mean, they're essentially twice as expensive as the Victrix stuff. So, but they look great in their newer line. And you need to be careful. I was in the world of Greeks. The Greeks parenthesis old range is their older stuff, and it gives you the description. These are slightly smaller than the Steve Sala stuff. That is key. I'm sure they look great, but these are their old ones. and they won't fit well with all the Steve Sala stuff. So I do not get these. I get the new stuff because they look great and they're sculpted by Steve Sala anyways. So I wish they would. I really like these hoplites here. To kind of have the spear on the shoulder. I wish they would have Steve Sala do something like that. And I like these guys holding their shields as well. That's pretty cool. They don't have those. But yeah, that's the Foundry route. Old Glory, or I'm sorry, First Corps. I'm getting out of order here. First Corps also has they do with all their armies, a very comprehensive Greek line, and you can do it either as individual supplement packs, army deals, or unit packs. Now, here's the thing with these guys, and the miniatures themselves look fine, and I would probably do their naked guys in a heartbeat if they had naked guys at rest, which I don't think they do. But all of the other guys are in bell cuirasses, and they even tell you they're in bell cuirasses. And that's a problem for me, because the bell cuirass was pretty early. That's like early archaic. As you can see, it's not like the muscled cuirass, and it's definitely not a linen cuirass. It's a more metal bell shaped, and that they wore that earlier in the Greek period. And I mean, they're telling you that they're in the bell cuirass. I don't know why they don't offer some. Well, they do. Here's some in linen cuirasses, but these are the only ones. That's it. They don't have any at rest in the linen cuirasses. And as you can see here, they have the earlier Corinthian style helmets with the closed ears. And, they went away from that because you can't hear shit with that helmet. And as history went on, they started wearing more Attic helmets, and the Pylos helmet became popular, and the Boeotian helmet, and the Chalcidian helmet, and all those other types of helmets became more popular. So, but it looks like they only have the two different units there in the linen cuirasses. So I won't go for these guys, but if you don't care, or if you are wanting to do a early, that early Greek warfare, kind of like the pre-Persian wars, the early Herodotus stuff, the Archilochus, he was a famous poet, mercenary poet. Then you could go for the First Corps stuff because they have a really comprehensive range. It just doesn't fit what I'm trying to accomplish here. And so, yeah, they got this Leonidas figure with him naked, bell cuirasses. Yeah, almost everybody's in a bell cuirass, it looks like. We did see some. They did have some naked hop. Oh, look at that. They do have some freaking guys in Boeotian helmets. Or Boeotian hats, it looks like. Yeah, so these guys have the Chalcidian style helmet, it looks like. Nice. So those guys are cool. And they do have these cool looking, their skirmishers actually look really cool. Yeah, their skirmishers and cavalry look pretty cool. Okay. And they have casualties. Slingers. Yeah, they got dead horses. Ooh, might have to get some of those. Look at me looking through all the stuff. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff there. Divinations going on. They have some carts. So that's the First Corps route. They're really good. And like I said, if if you don't mind the bell cuirass versus the muscle cuirass and linen cuirass thing, then they could be a good fit for you. One of the last guys that have a comprehensive range here are going to be the Old Glory, and if you do their their army club thing, their army membership, they're very affordable because you get like 40% off this price, and there are packs of 30. So you got hoplites advancing, hoplites thrusting, you have command, peltast, and essentially what you do is like the advancing hoplites, that's 30 figures, and then you get 15, so that's 35 figures. So you'd probably do 36 man unit or whatnot uh, with those, or you could do you know it's probably enough for 2 commands, so you'd probably get you know a pack of each and then split the command in half, because it looks like it's going to be multiple musicians and standard bearers. Although the Greeks weren't known for using standard bearers until the Hellenistic period, and then you gotta jumble together the cavalry because they don't actually have cavalry in there. You can get some Thessalian cavalry from the Alexander sets, and they'll work fine, I guess. A little light on the cavalry options. They do have Thracians though, including Thracian cavalry and they have Getic horse archers. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Unfortunately, they do their horses in sets of 10, which kind of sucks for me. But and then like light troops is 30. Like I'll never need 30 archers, right? So that's Old Glory. I won't go too much over them. I actually bought my first Old Glory miniatures not too long ago. Like I said, I actually bought these guys right here. And they are actually great looking miniatures. They have more of the Celtic, Theroporus, Thorios. Sorry, can't speak. Thorios shield, or the more Celtic shield, or the scutum, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, it's a shield that everybody in the Mediterranean and in Europe used. And then they got the more crescent, distinctive Thracian style. It's a mixture, and I'm going to use them. I don't see any reason why I could not use these guys uh, for Peloponnesian War stuff, even though they have the oval shield. I guarantee you that Thracian tribes were in trading and in contact with Celtic people and Gallic people before the Celtic invasions of the Hellenistic era. I guarantee it. Like they border each other. They had to be in contact. So I don't think it's crazy to say, oh, during the 420s, Thracian mercenaries had oval, Celtic-like shields. So that's you know I think some people they think ancient history is like this super finite thing, like in World War II, where you can say, oh, 500 Koenigstiger tanks were built during World War II. You're never going to get that out of ancient history. So you can take liberty. I think if you're just sensible about how you're building your army, and you think about it, you can justify things that are outside the norm or outside of orthodox. And that is one of those things that I'm choosing to justify. So, other than that, you have the one-off manufacturers that make stuff. Magister Militum gets an honorable mention from me because their website's set up properly, where you can look. Like here's Thracian infantry, for example. I can see the Thracian infantry right here, and I can either do a single figure or units of 24, and then they'll do a random selection of miniatures in there, and they have that for everything. Unfortunately, they don't really bust out. Like you're pretty much gonna have to sift through all their Hellenistic stuff, but they do have different hoplites. They have hoplites with Attic helmets, linen cuirasses, Corinthian helmets, unarmored hoplites. Officers of various sorts. It's taking a while to load. There we go. Mercenary hoplites, unarmored, more unarmored hoplites, peltast, shield transfers, Thebans. Guessing he's gonna have a Baotian helmet. Let's look at him. Oh, Army of Thieves. So and they have army packs too. So 24 hoplites, 48 peltast, 12 slingers. So that's actually not, honestly, that's not a bad army. If you doubled it, minus the peltast, I think that'd be a great army. To tell you the truth. So I know the Magister Militum, they're a little bit more older of a style of miniature, but ooh, Marcus Fannius. Oh, that's a cool looking figure. Oh, that is a badass looking figure. I'm gonna have to keep him in mind for my Oskins, for my Sam Knights. Shit. That's a good looking command figure. Huh. So getting off topic there. And then Crusader, they have a small Greek range, of hoplites and Therios spearmen, guys with Therios shields, and maybe some peltast too. And then you got a bunch of companies like that just that do, a few supplement packs here and there. So those are pretty much all of what you have for Greek offerings out there. I hope that helped you guys, especially you guys that are wanting to build that 200 plus miniature army. If you're only building, if you're doing a skirmish game, none of this is really applicable because you can just get your miniatures from anywhere, right? Like, doesn't really matter because you're only fielding an army of like 50 miniatures anyways, right? But if you're fielding an army of 200 miniatures, you really got to think about where you're going to get everything because it's a lot of miniatures. You got to think about how you're building your units. So hopefully this helped at least some of you guys out there. Try and answer your all's questions. I know I've been pretty bad about responding to comments and questions, but I do read them all, and I promise I'll get better on that. So, and you could also, depending on if you're doing a Theban force or a Boeotian force or a Peloponnesian force or a Laconian force, you could tailor this. I have this more tailored towards a mercenary slash Attic force. Um, but if I was doing a true Attic force, I could probably delete the medium cav, right? Maybe even delete the Cretan archers, although the Athenians did use them. You could also do a Syracusan force. The possibilities are endless, and the Syracusan force would be interesting because then you could have Sicilian natives in there, and Italian mercenaries, and Celtic mercenaries, as well as heavier cav and more cav, because they were known to use cav a little bit more in Sicily and Italy, in Magna Graecia. So this is just one example of a more or less Persian slash Peloponnesian War Attic army. So I hope you guys found this video useful, and hopefully I can keep doing videos like this. I enjoy doing videos that help people because I look at a lot of YouTube for inspiration, and there's a lot of good guys out there that do reviews of companies or how they paint things. And I find those videos very, very useful, especially when I was starting out. The painting videos were just indispensable. I pretty much more or less have my own painting style now, and I just figure it out on my own. But I know a lot of those videos are useful, and I'm going to try doing some painting guides. I want to get a white box and a better camera setup, I think, so that way I can do really good painting videos. Because there's not a lot. I mean, Holy Diver will do ancients and medievals on his channel, and I mean he's pretty much it, and no one else really does. And me and Holy Diver definitely do have a different painting style. I'm a little bit more. He's good at busting out a good large number of miniatures. They still look great, but he's good at painting fast and getting shit done. Whereas I like to still paint large armies, but agonize over the details and the historical accuracy. So But until then, guys, keep on painting.